All right. This is what we're gonna do real quick. So basically, first and foremost, my condolences to the family. Obviously, nobody deserves to bury their child. A lot of parents they don't even have that thought. When parents end up having kids, they raise their kids, and as they're raising their kids, they're thinking that their kids are going to be the ones pretty much to be the ones to bury their parents. You know what I mean? So I wanna do a timeline, and so what we're gonna do is let me make sure that I can hear myself talk pretty well on my side, and then once I have that down pat, because I don't know how this microphone sounds right now. All right, so let's see. It should be good. It should be good. So I don't want to talk too loud. It's nighttime. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a quick timeline here, right? We're gonna try to use everything that they say against them in a way. So he says in the interview that he goes to McDonald's without Nolan, right? And that he gets in contact with his friend over the phone. Okay. Let's see. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Should be able to hear it. Oh no, you know what? You know what? I apologize. I know you won't be able to hear it. Give me a second, guys. I gotta go to StreamYard on Chrome. I make that mistake all the time because I open Firefox. Gosh, what's going on here? Is this not the same account? Give me a sec. Let's see, new studio. All right, there we go. My apologies. All right, now we can do everything. My bad, guys. All right, we're good. We're Gucci now. All right, so we're gonna. Oh shit. We're gonna listen to a few things here.
To hear Nolan's story through you, through his friend. And it's not just you, it's a bunch of y'all. But some of the other guys were afraid because of the threats and the violence that's been threatened against their lives and all of the above. But you decided that you wanted to take this bold step and get.
I honestly don't want to go through these interviews all over again, or whatever the case may be. I think that more than one person should be behind bars right now in jail while the FBI investigates, just like they treat any other person out there. Well, let's take that back. They don't treat any other person like that. Only specific type of groups. Um, there's a lot of information coming out on the FBI. I don't know if you guys know, but apparently even uh, the owner of Playboy tipped off Epstein's Island, or that Epstein was doing human trafficking, to the FBI, and the FBI decided to do absolutely nothing at all whatsoever. So yeah, so the FBI, the failed Bureau of Investigation, not to be trusted at all whatsoever. But yeah, I wanna try to take some of the things that Warren says and then try to use it with evidence that's out there. So we'll talk about that in a few.
Give a statement and get your side out here. And I want to start at the very beginning of all of this and ask you, what was your relationship like with Nolan? Who was he to you?
Nolan, I could describe Nolan in a million ways. I mean, Nolan was not just a best friend of me, but he was a brother. I grew up through elementary, middle school, high school, and even our freshman year of college. We talked on the phone all the time. We were really close friends, and I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. And Nolan lit up every room he walked in. He always had a smile on his face. He always had something good to say. I've never seen Nolan get in an argument with somebody and say bad things about someone. There's a lot of people that talk crap nowadays, and Nolan was never that person. Sweetest soul ever. And I mean, I had a great relationship with Nolan. I've never got in an argument with Nolan. We were super close, and I've never said or will ever have anything bad to say about Nolan Wells.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together.
Mhm.
Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the.
That she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school, and we were never at Nolan's house, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, Nolan. That's when Nolan and I like got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies, and Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd go to Waffle House once a week together, eat, and I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, and like hang out around us, but never. I was never around Nolan's parents a lot, but I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as anyone else. So.
And walk me through the day, 4th of July. You guys did more than just this year. Did you hang July?
Being from the Gulf Coast, there's a boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed everybody's going out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island, or people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast go to Horn Island. And we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year, and he was I mean, this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat when we're home. Very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also, and like to go on the boat. Not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises, like to
Bro,
too.
what am I gonna do for
Have
it?
everybody was out there with us, and he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always out there with us, and but started 4th of July.
Started 4th of July. Here we go. This is the important factors when it comes down to the investigation.
You know, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming. You know,
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start writing down stuff that he says. My buddies and I planned this weeks ahead, pretty much, right? Something like that.
everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
Very, very big deal. And I mean, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and
Boom. Okay, okay. Stay with Nolan, buddy's house.
I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's.
We went to McDonald's.
Got food. Nolan was not with me.
Nolan was not with us, right? Without Nolan, and I believe next he starts saying how he spoke to Bart over the phone. If I'm not mistaken, give me a second here. Without Nolan.
And I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck, and well, first I ran to my house.
Which is kind of odd, guys. I mean, honestly, to go to I don't know how you guys do it, but 4th of July, it's a holiday. It's not a Labor Day, Monday to Friday where you're rushing or maybe you get up and you don't want to cook or whatever. Um, Pretty much, and you're telling me that you go into McDonald's out of all places, whatever. You can't just make a bacon egg. Well, anyway, you stayed over your friend's house. Let's just continue. Yeah, you stayed over your friend's house.
Then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck.
Okay. Boat was already hooked up to his truck.
My buddy Wyatt and I went.
My buddy Wyatt and I.
And with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach, and I drove the boat from Fort Bayou Boat Launch to my buddy's grandparents. Fort Bayou Boat Launch. I drove the boat from Fort Bayou Boat Launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
we had roughly 20 to 30 people.
Okay. So that's another thing. You said you had roughly 20 to 30 people. So Warren says that they have 20 to 30 friends on this trip, okay, on this boat ride to Horn Island. Okay. Wyatt puts the smaller boat in the water, the Palm Beach. Okay. And they're all going to the Buddy, it's Bart's, right? If I'm not mistaken. Buddy, they're all going to Buddy's grandparent home. Am I am I right so far? If you guys have anything that will help me with the notes, you can go ahead and comment and say anything. That's what I'm trying to get down to. That's what I'm trying to get. I see what you're going you're going ahead. That's what I'm trying to get to, because we're gonna figure out how much lying this guy has been doing, right? Because there's definitely footage out there of a boat backing up and leaving from that location. So let's listen a little bit.
coming on three separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. You know, it wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island.
Right, yo, Michael Dave. That's where I'm trying to get to. Watch, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because if this guy doesn't have his story straight, listen, right now I'm pissed off because they should honestly have anybody responsible, okay, for driving those boats. Anybody that should be investigated. Okay, you guys left them without, like, who did you talk to? Once you do the investigation, you realize that you can't give me a name or good information on who you left Nolan with. I'm charging you with something. I have to charge you with something. I have to charge you with, you know what I mean? Like, if they found a, especially if they found a body on the island afterwards, facing down, like kidnapping, false imprisonment, homicide. There's a bunch of things on the book that they could have charged them with. Um, and then the FBI could still would have, they still could have been investigating what happened to Nolan Wells while somebody is doing time. And since nobody likes to do time, somebody would have came out and snitched.
It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between three boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear because the statements that are out there made it appear that it was just you, Nolan, and probably two or three other guys, and y'all are the only ones that went out to this island.
And that's completely incorrect. I mean, Horn Island on the 4th of July is the most popular day to be on the water on, throughout the entire Gulf Coast. I mean, everybody and their mom is on roughly probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000 people out there. There were boats lined up off the island. I mean, there was 3 rows of boats all the way until my vision ended, until I could see of people people lined, who knows? I mean, and that wasn't just there. I mean, there's tons of people packed out on the south side. And, I mean, there was easily 1,000 people.
So I'm gonna fast forward through the BS. You know how you read the newspaper, and 90% of the newspaper is BS, advertising, gossip. They don't even want to give you the real news or the information you're looking for, the important facts that that we need. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna skim through it.
At the dock, getting on the boat, you're saying there's multiple people, probably 20 or 30 people getting on 3 boats.
Right.
What boat were you on, and what boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Wyatt's 22 Triton.
There we go. Michael Dave, did you want to hear that? Now we know that if we have footage, which I think we do, if we have footage of the Triton leaving Bart's grandparents' home without Nolan, how does that make sense? And why doesn't he have his story straight? It's kind of odd. So let's go ahead and put that down. Warren says Nolan was on Triton, Wyatt's boat, right? That's what he says. No, yeah, for sure. I did too. I got to see this content creator. This is why content creators are very important, and not the ones that use AI, or not the faceless YouTube channels. I'm actually trying to follow and subscribe everybody that's covering this topic, that goes live, that keeps this algorithm alive, um, that wants justice for Nolan Wells, because there's a lot of people out there just doing content for clickbaits in a way. I mean, that's what I call it when it's a faceless YouTube channel. But there is a good channel out there, Watching the World, or Watching World 777, and he was talking about that. He was showing everyone how Nolan was did not get on the Triton, was not on the Triton when it left that location. So we have to get to the bottom of that. And I mean, Warren to me, I said it. Warren to me has been lying from the beginning. And he has not stopped lying at all whatsoever. He's a very bad liar, I would say. All right, so Nolan says that. I'm sorry. I apologize. May he rest in peace. Warren says that Nolan was on the Triton, Wyatt's boat.
Uh, on the way out, I went with my buddy Bart.
Okay. And Warren says he left with Bart.
Because we had a lot of friends from college coming down, and I called Bart that morning. I was like, "Hey, man, can you take your boat out?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, my dad decided not to go, and I'll take the boat, and I'll take you and your friends." Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart, and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton, and then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton, and then there was the rest of the group, which was ranged from maybe 10.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna write that down also. I'm just gonna put that here real quick. Warren estimates that the Palm Beach had that's fine. 4 Palm Beach, right? 4 people on the Palm Beach. He said 8 to 9, right, on the Triton, but I think it's 7 to 8. But he said 8 to 9. Did he not say 8 to 9 on the Triton? And then the other number is probably like 10.
10 to 15 or 16 people
It says
on my buddy's tide line, which is
15
24 tide line.
15,
And so you
16.
guys get on, and I know a little bit more than the audience do because we went out there a little earlier
Right,
because I
right.
wanted to see exactly what the drive was like.
I appreciate you, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Honestly, Um, I don't want nobody to keep their mouth quiet. We can't. It's just this country is like full of shit, bro. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's so much to talk about, and we need to come together and get shit done.
Like what the
Mhm.
dock was like, how
Yeah,
far it is out there.
of course.
But I want you to tell, the audience, like, what was this trip like? How was the waters? Did you guys do anything in between the time you rode and the time you get to the island? Was there music? Was
Yeah,
it like a big party? Like,
yeah,
what is that?
yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, music's blasting. It's Fourth of July, man. I mean, you know how. I mean, everybody's really excited, and I mean, we had a lot of people loaded down. So obviously, our biggest, we're just trying to make sure everybody, gets out there safe. And so, I mean, on the way out there, it was pretty calm. I think it was blowing like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day to be on the water. The July. I mean, it was calm. All my buddies pretty calm.
Yeah, you know what I hate? How much he lies. In this interview, he said, "My buddies and I planned this weeks ahead." Right? He said we were so excited, we were so happy. Yet on the second interview, guys, right? You guys all saw that second interview with his friends and that piece of shit Edward that works with Tyler Cox or whatever. In that second interview with Officer Tatum, he said, "You know what? Looking back at it, I wish we never went. I knew that this was gonna happen." He was basically saying, "I knew this was gonna happen, and I wish we never went." So what is it, Warren? You can't say on one interview, "Yo, we've been waiting for weeks. We've been excited. We've been planning." To then go to the second interview with the same person that's interviewing you, like, damn man, you know what? In reality, I wish we never went. I wish we never went because I knew that this was gonna happen. Nah, bro, you can't. That doesn't even make sense. All right, let's get back to the video real quick, man.
Calm.
And so you guys get out there. I'm assuming that you line the boats up because I'm envisioning the picture of getting out there and there's hundreds of boats,
Mhm.
a few people. This is pull up.
I pull up, and we pulled up at 10:30. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, early afternoon. I mean, it was already 3 rows of boats lined up all the way, like I said, until I could see. And
And you're
I mean,
talking when you say all you can see, you're speaking about there
roughly 10 to 12 miles. I mean,
a small area.
there was boats all the way around the very, very on other people and boats out there, 100%.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you get out there, y'all jump out. What do you do? When I say
This is why this guy has zero credibility. Brandon Tatum is a shitty interviewer. He's a piece of shit. When you listen to this interview and you take out a piece of paper and you grab a pen or pencil and you want to take down notes, if you guys realize most of the questions and most of the answers are irrelevant. Like we don't care. We are trying to focus on one thing. What happened to Nolan Wells, their so-called best friend? So when we look at this interview and we're writing down the notes, the important notes are pretty much what happened before they got to Horn Island thus far.
say jump out, you obviously not just sitting on the boat.
Yeah.
You spending more time in the water, on the island, in the boat. Like how is that? How is that look out there?
I mean, food, whatever else they need. Because, I mean, my buddies tie the boats up because the tie line was right here, the Palm Beach was in the middle, and then the Triton was on the outer side. I mean, if you jumped off the bow, you're probably about neck deep in water. Got there, sat, and eventually, next thing you know,
I mean, let's just put it this way: nobody jumps off the boat unless they have a life vest on, if they don't know how to swim, or unless they know that they can swim, that they're a good, strong swimmer. I've done this before with my cousin, his friend. He had a boat in Puerto Rico. We go to Caracoles. You know, there's shallow water at a specific area. You technically park the boat, drop the anchor, whatever, apart from that, swim towards the shallow water, and you could just relax, like chill. You can't take the boat all the way up there because of the shallow water, things like that. People do different things. You can even put domino tape on the back, whatever, different things. We had a second boat tied, whatever.
It's our group, and then next thing you know, there's 50 other people around us, and then it just grew and grew as the day came on. And I mean, that's just how it was. Everybody's drinking. I mean, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves, and it's a big party, basically. Big party.
Imagine 18-year-olds, probably
Right.
20-year-olds,
Right.
college students
Right.
out on.
Here's something else I question, guys. No lie. They had a sleepover, right? They had a sleepover, and I wonder, were there adults there during their sleepover? And if there wasn't adults there, what we do in college? We like to party. The females even stay over. See, there's another part of this story that we're not getting. Like, what exactly did everyone do on July 3rd, the day before? We're like, we don't know. You know what I mean?
On the island.
Because what if there's grudge? What if there was arguments, a fight even the day before, any altercation?
Right.
Women, you probably had alcohol,
Of
so y'all
course,
having
yeah.
a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies. In a group, I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, everybody my age, and even people older than us were, over there. Like, I mean, it was just a regular thing. We're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, every weekend. And like, I fish the islands. I don't just, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So I'm very familiar with the islands, and I feel like
That's something to question too. I mean, I don't think, to be honest with you, unless they had the phone on the boat, which they've mentioned that they probably did, and it was not just left in the truck. Um, there's different theories and different ideas that we can have, because so many things could have happened that day. If they're so familiar with these islands and all these things, the GPS technically does not show that they stopped at other islands. So that's why I think, and my theory is, that they took the body with them. To me, they took the body with them. Um, I'm gonna give you 2 reasons on top of that. If Nolan phone wasn't face recognition and it was fingerprint, what happens when you're in the water for such a long time to your fingertips? Technically, your phone, if it's all wrinkled up and whatnot, technically your phone won't read your fingerprint right away. Okay, for the most part. So I honestly think that they took the body to tamper with evidence, to look for whatever they wanted to in his phone. Um, let's continue.
it was just a big I talked to Nolan, and Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody, and I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations, and Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple
Excuse me,
conversations with
sorry.
Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James, Nolan, and I mean, I could tell you, I mean, I talked to Nolan a couple times, but it wasn't like I was strictly sitting there talking to Nolan the whole day. I mean, there was hundreds of people I knew out there, so.
Yeah. And Nolan said something interesting you told me about this. Something he said to you, I would say would be indicative of your.
Another bad thing about Brandon's Tatum, I'm never gonna call him officer. He doesn't deserve that respect. I could care less. Um, and he's not an officer anymore, so call him by his name. But his content is edited, whatever. Like you can see specific parts of the audio where it's chopped, or the video they chop it. You know,
Y'all's friendship.
Right.
And then he also mentioned something to you about that particular day and what it meant to him.
Right.
And could you share that?
Right. Yeah. So Nolan and my buddy Javon are talking, and
I'm gonna say this real quick. The fact that these white teenagers are out without bail, they haven't been in jail, prosecuted, they have not been in handcuffs, they have not been arrested, makes this case a lot more dangerous. Like to the point where, like, they don't want justice. Okay, if it was a black person, or if it was somebody else, pretty much they would have been locked up, and then you would have had to fight the case, or that person would have to fight the case from the inside, from his jail cell, with his lawyer working from the outside. There's a huge difference. These people are out saying whatever they want, making up stories, making up lies, and it's a lot harder. In reality, it isn't, but you know what I mean. You guys can, whoever knows or understands the system knows exactly what I mean.
I grew up with Nolan, and Nolan's, just all, like I said, like just so joyful, like always happy. Like every picture I have with Nolan or picture I have of Nolan, he's smiling. I mean, like he's always happy. I've always a lot. Like that's how our friend group, we enjoy our time together. I mean, there's never any awkwardness within our friend group. We're very, very tight. So to like specifically anybody, I would go out, like even if I'm having issues with something, I go talk to my group. All my buddies are the same exact way. Nolan was the same exact way. If you ever need something, I'm here.
Leave prematurely.
Right.
And like, what? Explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30.
Right.
People are still out there partying, and
Correct.
they're having a good time. But something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if that part comes here, because I was looking for the original interview, and I couldn't find the original interview for some specific reason. It's almost like he decided to edit whatever he wanted to do and leave out whatever he wanted to leave out. But it's okay because we have that information regardless. It's fine. All right, so here we are, guys. Let's take a look here real quick. Without Let's take a look here without sound. Okay. You guys see that? Okay, so that boat right here, apparently this is the Triton. So they say, right? I'm hearing I'm hearing this is the Triton. I mean, if it's the Palm Beach, Warren is telling us that there's only four people on there, and there's clearly more than four people on there right now as we speak. So this looks about like seven people, no? Doesn't that look like the Triton, guys? Do you want me to zoom in? Does that look like the Triton? Okay, now let's go ahead and hit play. We can't identify or see who's actually on there, but that's okay because see, this boat pulls out the camera switch because I believe it's catching motion and movement. Okay, um, see, they got that part edited. That boat moves though, right? That boat moves. So it's kind of like I saw a video today where it shows how that boat is pulling out. I don't like the way that this guy has obviously done his content. He pretty much sucks. He's not looking for justice. He's just looking to continue his agenda. Brandon Tatum doesn't care for justice, and specifically for any black person out there, which is very sad. It's kind of crazy the self hate that he has. We don't get it. I don't know. Um, but clearly he has his own agenda, right? I mean, clearly Brandon Tatum has his own agenda. He wants to talk bad about black people, and he doesn't care about no justice, right? So we're gonna take a look real quick at this other one because there are face expressions that are made. I want to take a screenshot of. I don't. They call themselves friends, but the face expressions, the way they express themselves, makes no sense. And also, we're looking for the part where Warren says, "I wish we never went." Okay, so we're looking out for that right now. All right, that's what we're gonna look for.
We were able to get other perspectives. Now that we have Ed here, Ed is a defamation.
We don't care about Ed. Look, he's already making. Ed is already making baseball signals with his hat.
Attorney to work with. And I want to start with you, Ed. What,
Eight lines here, council.
We don't
Guys
care
are-
what you we don't care what you gotta say, dude. You're a piece of shit lawyer. You don't know what you're talking about. And every content creator out there has the freedom of speech, and they can say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. They can have a theory. They can have an idea. They can have a thought, and they can put things together and have a theory on what happened to Nolan Wells. And they can question all of you and question authorities on why they're not doing a better job.
I really, I think like ever since it happened, my life just like hit like a hole, like just it just stopped. And
Okay, I want you guys to pay attention to this. So it's like if I lost a friend, I wouldn't be talking about myself that way. I would be talking about what I missed the most from the person I lost. Okay, I wouldn't be saying, "Oh, I have a hole in." No, like, well, he was my friend. We did this together. I would be talking about the time that we spent together. They what they have done, what these teenagers, whatever kids have done, is they have made it about themselves, which is outrageous. They want to play victim, knowing that we're out here just trying to figure out and find out what exactly happened to Nolan, because we're aware that this wasn't an accident. Like, if it was an incident or accident, why didn't you just take him to the hospital, get him a medical treatment? Even if he died at the hospital, even if you got the Coast Guard, why didn't you get the Coast Guard? Even if you got the Coast Guard and he died, at least you tried. You wouldn't have any guilt. You would be showing empathy. You know what I'm saying? And if any altercation happened, somebody might feel remorse. But for you guys to show no emotion,
And I mean, we just got to live day by day from now on.
I could say definitely a whole.
I don't like. So this guy likes to. I believe his body expression or body language. What it shows me is that Jax, whenever he wants to lie, he's always looking down. He's not looking at somebody directly in the eyes to tell the story. He's not giving you eye contact. He's not even looking at the camera. Nothing. He's looking down. I I've been in these streets for too long. You know what I'm saying? Not these streets out here, but in Philly. So you can't tell me that y'all have never seen somebody tell you a lie with their face down. You guys have never ran into a liar and they're so embarrassed sometimes to even lie that they can't even look at you in the face. They just have their face down. They're looking down at the ground.
Flip upside down for our lives. It's like even going out, we're always paranoid somebody's gonna see us, get spotted, try to beat us up potentially, or even worse. Um, we're really just trying to stay low key and not go out as much or anything like that. Um, you know,
It's been hard because my friends and I are people. I mean, we like to be out and hang out outside of our friend group, and not being able to like go certain places or walk around in public because our head's always on a swivel. It's really affected all of us. I mean, especially in like my family's standpoint. Uh, I, my my safety comes first. My friends and family safety come first too, and it's been really hard because I'm worried about like my family as well with me, and it's hard, but we're just going day by day and just trying to get through every day.
Can you give me some examples of what has happened? Have you guys have had things happen online, threats online? Have you guys have any examples of people accosting you or anything like that?
oh yeah, we have had countless death threats online. Been spotted. I'll let you elaborate more on that. Being
Yeah,
spotted.
I mean, people have obviously just pointed us out. I mean, as a group and even on a one-on-one.
That's another part. Is like every time they don't know what else to say, or um, they're lost for words. Whenever they're lost for words, they look to the left. They want Warren to just bail them out with the lies that he has learned from his mother speaking, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Setting. I think it's it's really just like awkward because I don't want to talk about this, and I know my friends don't want to talk about this any more than we need to. We're still mourning one of our best friends' death, and it's hard to speak about it when like sometimes we just need some alone time, or sometimes we just need to you know lay back and not be around all this. And I mean, we've I've been called out in public, and I haven't been in public that much. I know my friends have had encounters in public. The threats have been insane from you know, my stepmom and my dad, my mom, just everyone included, like even my brothers and my sisters, and it's just hard. I mean, it's unbelievable where like this has been taken to and the level where this is at.
Threaten you with weapons. They wouldn't even.
I wouldn't say like that. I think I haven't been denied, you know, anything, but denied calls like no, it's really hard.
Gatorade at
To,
Walmart or
no,
whatever,
which
or some
obviously
other
they
store.
okay. And here, line. How do you?
It's not what we're here for.
Cases. If you let a court,
You're a
fact,
lawyer. We
don't
don't
do.
want to hear you
There's some
either.
other folks who are big guys.
I'm looking.
Here, Jax, and that's what's important. And here's my friend.
And are you confident that these young men had nothing to do with it? Or
Confidence not a strong enough word. In fact, beyond a reasonable doubt is not strong enough. There's a 0% chance.
Wow, that guy talks like, I don't know, he was there. He talks like he was actually there on the boat partying with all of them July 4th all the way till midnight. I mean, is there something you know, Edward, that we don't? Like, I don't think that there is. I think that when we look at the evidence, you know as much as we know. Because unless you were there personally and you can maybe tell us that, I think you're pretty much full of shit right now. Talking about reasonable doubt.
That they did anything wrong. So this is not 90%. It's not 99%. It's 100 with defamation.
This is why I don't want to hear
experience,
nothing
and
he
we
has
talked
to
about
say.
this before, and we talked a little, or at least spoke a little bit about when you go out, you guys are getting accosted by people. Can you give us an example of, or at least tell the audience an example of an incident where you guys may have been accosted, or what does that look like when you go out? People threaten you with weapons, or people
A couple of buddies and thing, but
go out?
we went to a restaurant, a couple of buddies of mine, and when we were, I wouldn't say threatening with weapons or anything, but I felt, and I know my friends felt, threat for our lives. I mean, I don't think there was like a fear factor, but like, I was like, she kind of just, I looked at my, just crazy. I was like, people were up about that. It was so like, they believed you killed your best friend.
But
And Morgan and Jax, were you guys there?
yes, we were there.
I was there.
I didn't hear the part where they said they were going to kill him and stuff, but I did hear whenever she came up to him originally.
You see that? Oh no, I didn't hear that part, but I did see.
She was like, "Hey, you have like TikTok or anything like that? Your face looks really familiar." And he was like, "No, I don't have TikTok or anything like that." And she was like, "Oh, okay," and then walked off, and then came back with, like you said, the first interview, on her phone, and showing him. And she's like, "So this isn't you. Either you have a doppelganger, or this is you." And he was like, "Well, yeah, that's me." And then we got the check, and we bounced, and we were waiting outside for everybody else to get out of there. And while we're waiting outside is whenever some of our other that
Make you guys feel when you? I mean, did you themselves?
Just like I was in the general area of where one of our buddies was, where this altercation happened, and I actually got into a conversation with a fellow next to me that wasn't even involved, and he told me straight up, he was like, if I was y'all right now, I would leave before y'all get hurt. Y'all need to leave right now. I'm just watching out for y'all and making sure y'all are safe. And I mean, I wouldn't say that those people would have physically done something, almost like making this.
Question in my mind that when I go back, I look at what happened, I look at the initial stories with Nolan, and you guys knew him, right? I didn't know him. I know none of you guys. I just had a chance to meet you guys more recently. But how do you think this should have gone if you could control the environment? Nolan is found.
I think this is the part where Warren says, I wish we didn't go that day. Let's take a look and listen.
Deceased. How do you guys think that this should have been put out to the world?
So first off, I wish that none of this would ever happen. I wish Nolan could still be here with us today. And I wish that, like I said, none of this would ever happen. Like, if I wish that all this could be erased and no.
All right, so let's talk about it. He's the first one to respond. He looks up at Brandon Tatum's eyes. Warren Warren's body language there looks like like what you talking about? Like he's irked. Doesn't even like that answer. He doesn't like the fact that maybe Jax decided to answer first. Let's see.
Like I said, none of this would ever happen. Like, if I wish that all this could be erased and Nolan could be here tomorrow. I mean, that's if I and I wish that, like I said, none of this would ever happen. Like, if I wish that all this could be erased and Nolan could be here tomorrow. I mean, that's more than anything. But other than that, I feel like his mom blasting us on social media from the get-go, saying that he was out there with Warren, and
That part right there looks edit. If you guys realize and see that, right? We went from this camera angle. The sentence completely finishes. Look at everybody's body language, face expression, and then notice how the new clip just gets put in there.
like I said, none of this would ever happen. Like, if I wish that all this could be erased and Nolan could be here tomorrow. I mean, that's more than anything. But
It jumps, but
other than that, I feel like his mom blasting us on social media from the get-go, saying that he was out there with Warren and another guy. Uh, that's where it first started to take off, and then also the fact that she posted a picture of me and Morgan and another guy and Nolan on the boat together, blasting that out there, pushing this narrative, kind of, I guess. Uh, I wish that would have never happened either, and I don't think if those would have never happened, a lot of this stuff wouldn't have been as viral or gone all over the country at this point. I mean, this is a
you see Warren's reaction here when he's taking that deep breath. He's in his mind. He's probably like saying, "Bro, just like shut up already. Land your plane. Land your damn plane already and shut up."
wouldn't have been as viral or gone all over the country at this point. I mean, this is a countrywide news story that is just blown out of proportion, and the fact that it was our best friend and it's not what people are saying it is what hurts the most. I mean, that was our brother. I mean, straight up. That's what I told his dad the night that he came over to my house. He was like, blah blah, saying something. I was like, dude, that was my brother. Like, and you know that. He knows that. We were picking him up every single day. He never drove. I can't tell you how many times I pulled up in his driveway and picked him up. And it wasn't him asking. It was just because that's what we did. We just picked up Nolan all the time. That's how we, came about to all the stuff that we were going to. We'd go and pick him up. That's how much we like to be around him. We would do stuff like that all the time.
Well, first off, like I would, I wish we would have never. Like I think about this every day. Like I wish we would have.
Guys, come on. You see what I'm saying? We just got done seeing in less than an hour. We just got done seeing Warren with a big smile talking about the July 4th on the first interview, stating, "Oh, we couldn't wait for it. We were excited. We planned ahead." And now in the second interview, there's a change of emotion, energy. Now you're saying I wish we never went. Which one is it? Now he wishes he never went.
Never went out on the 4th of July because I know this wouldn't have happened. Nolan wouldn't.
All right, so I need to add that here in my notes. Give me one quick second. So let me go ahead and add that part, right? So he says this. Let me get the source because you got to have the source, right? You got to have the source. I didn't say it. He said it, right? We didn't say it. None of you guys in the comments said what he just got done saying. Okay,
Be
this
first
this is said by Warren himself, and we have the source. Play the clip.
off, like I would I wish we would have never like I think about this every day. Like I wish we would have never went out on the 4th of July because I know this wouldn't have happened. Nolan wouldn't be gone, and like it's really hard to think about because it's like I wish I would have done this different or I wish I would have done that different because now one of my brothers wouldn't have like passed away. But I think from the beginning, I'm glad that I called the Coast Guard. I'm glad that we came together as a group, even from the first day when people started texting us things, saying, crazy things. But I wish it wouldn't have been reported as some type of race thing. I think it's really bad that like people are pushing the narrative, oh, this is a race thing.
Yeah, well, American history and history itself always repeats itself. And so, why wouldn't people have a thought, an idea of something or something tragic happening to somebody over race? We're in 2026 and racism is at an all-time high. Now, corporations and companies want to have robots and AI just to not have color people work there, interview. They don't even want to give people an interview anymore. And that's the truth. They got these self-driving taxis because they don't want to see a person that they don't know of color or that don't have the same skin complexion as them. So yeah, high racism is at an all-time high. It never left. People multiplied. Now everything is on a smartphone. Kids been saying racist things since Xbox Live in 2003. So racism has only multiplied. It never left. It never died down. And it's a shame. It's a shame in a country where more than 50 million black people live who helped build this country, whose ancestors helped build this country, whose ancestors fought for rights even before they abolished slavery. So even after they abolished slavery in 1865, they were still fighting for rights, for civil rights, and they didn't get it to 1964. And then after that, every other race and ethnicity that came to this country that don't thank black people ended up with the same civil rights that the black people fought for. Yeah, there's a lot of American history that you teenagers apparently don't know about them. And then you're being from Mississippi, that's kind of strange that you don't understand why people would think that this had to do with race.
Well, obviously it's not. I mean, this is like a brother to us. I mean, Nolan's no different than anyone else in our group. And I just wish this wasn't pushed on the media as, oh, this is a bunch of white guys that killed a black guy, or this is, you know, four, like in the beginning it was like four guys went to a stranded island and dumped Nolan at the island, just left him there. Like even from the beginning, it was just like this thing, and no one had facts, and they were just pushing this horrible narrative, all lies about everyone, and it's sick. So I wish that would have been completely different. I'm glad I called the Coast Guard. I'm glad I made the first contact within all of this. I'm glad.
That's a lie. That's another lie I gotta write on here. Warren never contacted the Coast Guard. Warren apparently contacted someone, he so called a person, I don't know. They didn't necessarily mention a name, or they didn't say a name, but Warren apparently, so they say, called someone that works for the Coast Guard. He didn't call the Coast Guard. Okay, so that's another lie. Coast Guard, not the Coast Guard itself. Okay, that's another lie. All right. So all this starts when, hold on, 17 minutes, 17:34.
That we came together as a group, even from the first day when people started the July, because I
And pick him up. That's how much we like to be around him. We would do stuff like that all the time, you know?
well, first off, like I would, I wish we would have never, like I think about this every day, like
Now he's thinking about it every day. Okay. So we're gonna put the timestamp right here for the source. Perfect. Let's continue. Let's move forward a little bit.
Nolan at the island, just left him there. Like even from the beginning, it was just like this thing, and no one had facts, and they were just pushing this horrible narrative, all lies about everyone, and it's sick. So I wish that would have been completely different. I'm glad I called the Coast Guard. I'm glad I made the first contact within all of this. I'm glad I was the first one that called Christine Wells that night and told her that we haven't heard from her son. And I'm glad that I did all of that, but I hate the way this has been.
You contacted his mom and you didn't advise his mom that you had the phone. You didn't even bother saying, hey, we don't know where he's at. I have his phone. Would you like to pick it up? Would you like me to take it to you? Would you like me to drop it off at the nearest police precinct? You didn't come up with a solution, bro. You called his mom, and as evil as it sounds, you probably did it to mock the situation.
Perceived by the media and portrayed. This has like been absolutely horrible with the way and the things that they've said to us and done. But other than that, I mean, there's not much I would change from my point of view and my friend's point of view. I think we did everything right, and I know we did nothing wrong.
I think I also want to say, I think it's so criminal that they took something so anti racist and flipped it into something super racist. Like they took, this is the definition of anti-racism. I mean, that we did not look at Nolan any different than I looked at him, or even you. You know, this is literally our brother. I mean, like we stated, we did not treat him any different. We didn't treat Trayson any different. We don't treat Trayson any different. And they just flipped it. And I just think that is so wild that they're pushing this thing that they're saying, oh, they want to end racism and all this stuff. Well, they're the one pushing it. They're pushing the racism. And I just think that's kind of crazy.
Morgan, what's your thoughts on this? How
Well,
does it affect you?
If I mean, first I want to say I mean, wish this would have never happened. I wish Nolan would still be here with us today. And but in my opinion, I think that the media, they shouldn't have pushed a narrative from so early. I think that they should have let the local officials do their job let them release statements, and then, I mean, the media is obviously going to see that and then do whatever they do. But that's what I mean. I trust the local officials.
Ed, with what has transpired, how is that?
So it looked like they took a bathroom break. And then they're like, all right, what is the next question that we should? What's the next question, guys? Anybody has an idea? Anybody with? Oh, that's a good one. Let's roll the clip. Roll the clip. Ready? Three, two. Yeah. So guys, so edit.
Dictate your response? Because you have a 30,000-foot view of all of this stuff, right? You see the way that it could have went, and you see that there's people that instigated.
Yo, honestly, that's it's sad the world that we live in today. I mean, we've seen people want to be gangster. I ain't never seen nobody want to be an officer, like a wannabe officer. I ain't never seen no shit like that.
The narrative that's out there now. And as a defamation attorney, how does this navigate your tactics?
Sure. And I want to be clear about something. Tonight, I'm not going to give any particular person any more oxygen than they may have already sucked up. But I will say this. What's been said about Morgan, Jax, and Warren, I'm not going to call them untruths or half-truths or falsehoods. I'm going to call it what it is, lies. So the first thing that's really important here is we're dealing with lies and liars. We're dealing with profiteers. We're dealing with hustlers. And one thing that I've seen since I got here is that Ocean Springs, Mississippi, is a really beautiful place. And the region is very beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places in the country. And there is just no question. The death of Nolan Wells is a horrendous tragedy. But for the tragedy to then be magnified after his death for no reason other than profit is a disgrace, or what we would call.
Okay. If we can agree on that, then why am I seeing videos or content creators on YouTube or TikTok speaking about a specific shirt of a person or like an anime character, cartoon, whatever, on a boat? Looks like the boat is on a lake, and it says, "Damn it, Bart." Guys, we need to wake up. If Walmart, if any retail store is playing around and thinking that this is a joke, we need to boycott their ass. Like, seriously. No, this is not a joke. He just stated, "Oh yeah, well, people are trying to hustle this. They're doing this and that. They're trying to make money off of, somebody's death, and then they should take the shirts off the shelves or off the internet or wherever it is that they got them."
Shonda. And I had the opportunity to go to Horn Island today with Tyler and Warren and Jax. And a lot of people who have been sucking up way more oxygen than they're entitled to have not been to the island. I'm willing to bet that a lot of the hustlers and profiteers and liars have not been to that island. And you have to go to that island. And being at the island today was revelatory. It was really illuminating. It's a very dynamic marine environment, first of all. But when you go to the island, you see instantly that what some people want to be true, what they wish to be true, they're trying to wish it to be true. They're trying to make it true through their lies. It's actually not possible. It is a very, very long and narrow barrier island. It's basically very low sand dunes. And in the particular part of the island,
Well, you might have a degree in law, you might be a lawyer, but you don't know shit about geographics. I'm pretty sure that's not your strong suit. And anything you have to say about the island, I would say is complete bullshit. So, yeah, there's that. Let's see what else we got here.
winds, and that lies liable.
I look at this as defamation.
We're not talking about that. There's freedom of speech, and we will continue using freedom of speech. I encourage everybody watching to make your own content and share it. Make your own content, give your opinion, um, and you can break down why you feel like the way you feel, why you have that idea, that theory. They can't do nothing. They cannot. You could create a short. You can make a TikTok video. You put it on Twitter. Do whatever you want. These people cannot go after you for defamation, especially if they can't get their story straight. Okay, if they're gonna continuously lie back and forth, or if they can't get their story straight, then technically, I mean, there is no defamation. We're just calling them liars and pointing out facts, right? That's what we try to do, right? Let's go ahead and see the second half or the part two that they said. A little bit of this part here. They want to talk about the CETO call. Let's talk about the CETO call.
I mean, there's no way we could have covered it up, especially out there with that many people.
Okay, perfect. Absolutely correct. And that is why I know, or let's just say I don't know, but I have a great idea that you guys did take the body, because if there's so many people around and too many witnesses, why would you dump a body around too many witnesses when you don't know who has their phone out? You don't know who's going to snitch you out. You don't know what's going to happen. So why would you dump a body while at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, when there's too many people around? You wouldn't. You would take them with you. Take. Oh wait, sorry about that. Yeah, you would definitely take them with you. So
Go ahead.
I think, especially about the CETO call, I think people, regardless of who it is going to believe what they want to hear. I think half these people, or not half these people, but some of these people you can't convince, regardless. They're going to believe what they want to believe. If they want to believe that my friends and I had something to do with Nolan dying, then they're going to believe that regardless of what you put out. But you put out, Brandon, that a clip of the boat when
I'm glad this is the part that fucks them up. I'm glad that they did this part.
Wyatt was on the phone with CETO.
Okay. I'm glad they did this part because we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna just take a look real quick what he says in the beginning.
Oh, the audio comes back, and all of a sudden we can hear Nolan yelling in the
You just a Coast Guard.
Phone call have gone out.
All right,
And
let's talk about it.
So, but we fixed her down. On the boat with us, you can literally almost see down.
All right, let's take a look at this video, guys. Okay, let's take a quick look at this video. Pause it right there. All right, let's take a look at this video. Wow. We know, okay, we know that there is storage underneath that boat. You know what else we know? We also know that when that boat left Bart's grandfather's house, it was about the same level. You look at the security footage, that boat was never sinking. Look at the boat. Look where the water's at. In fact, you see the that blue line, I believe. That's how I believe they would be able to tell a little bit if the boat was sinking. There's a whole bunch of people on the outside or the edges of the boat. Why? Why? Why is he on the ledge right there standing? Why is that other kid? Why is this guy over here? Why is that female sitting there? What's in the middle? Oh, the storage unit. Probably somebody laying down or a body. Okay. I don't see them. And this is a video, by the way, right? You guys have seen this before. It's not a picture. It's an actual video. You do not see them panicking, trying to get water out. Okay. You do not see them do that at all whatsoever. Water wasn't coming in. They're not even trying to take water out. None of that stuff. Okay, look at the video. Ready? Look at that video. Look at the video. You could literally see back here the floor a little bit, right? There's no water there. That boat that boat does not look like it's sinking to me, right? But let's go beyond that. The grandfather canceled the tow. The boat was never towed, and the grandfather canceled the tow. So that means that adults got involved. Adults got involved, right? What is he pulling? Obviously, they're recording from Bart's boat, and they say that Bart's boat is going to tow them and everything. There's a part here where something comes up, and a lot of people probably thought, oh, maybe is that a hand? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the playback speed very slow, and you're gonna see this part here. He's pulling something, and that part shows he's pulling something with the rope. Okay. There's also another footage out there of a leg coming outside that boat. Let's see what else they want to say.
In the first place, like Jack said, why would Wyatt call Cito? It's crazy. The reason we turned down Coast Guard is why would we call Coast Guard if Cito could pull us in? But we fixed the boat and we ran into Fort Bayou, and that's it.
No, 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 no. Wrong. Legal action would be taken if Coast Guard gets involved and they find out that underage teenagers, because I believe that the age limit to drink is 21, unless, of course, they're supervised under an adult. I believe that you could get a fine, and I believe that people could get in trouble for that. I'm pretty sure. Okay, matter of fact, let me tell you how sure I am. When I went on that boat ride with my cousin, his friend, whatnot, and we enjoyed our day at the beach in Puerto Rico. The captain of the boat said, "Yo, what are you doing? You can't be over there." I was running around. Listen, I was running around the yacht, right? I got all the way to the front with the beer, with the Henneken, and I'm recording with my camcorder, acting a fool, feeling like I'm at fucking Disney World and shit, because it was my first time on a fucking boat like that and shit, and I'm having a fucking blast. And he's like, yo, calm. He's like, calm down. You can't be in the front like that while I'm driving the boat out and you're drinking your beer. Like, you're gonna have Coast Guard fucking stop me and say something to me and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? You grabbing attention. You can't be in the front. You gotta be back here. So yeah, there's strict rules out in in the ocean at the beaches that everybody has to follow along.
The CETO call was completely enhanced, and these people just want to believe what they want to hear. And that's exactly what they're doing. So it's just crazy to me that people have tried to twist this and twist the audio. When we came out with the first interview, it debunked half these lies, and now you don't hear about any of it. You don't hear about the pool party because it was on June 27th. You don't hear about anything else that was mentioned. Thousands of lies. And now, the audio comes back, and all of a sudden we can hear Nolan yelling in the background, screaming.
It's not that all of a sudden we could hear the name Nolan being mentioned more than once. And when things happen more than once, it's not a coincidence. It's not that. It's the fact that it's the original audio and you don't have to necessarily enhance it to actually hear different things going on in the background.
We're screaming about how he's dead. That's just a complete lie, and it's another lie to push this narrative that people don't want to turn down. It's insane to me.
Sorry to interrupt. I know you're enjoying this incredible interview. Make sure.
No, we're not.
And we'll end with you, Ed. But Morgan, if you could had an opportunity to have this projected to everybody in the United States of America, many people who have made statements about you and about what.
So I just got T-boned at a stoplight.
I apologize for the advertising.
First, I would say that, I mean, it's proven in evidence that they're all lies. I think that most of these people are just going to, I say most of these people, a lot of these people that have posted stuff out there, they've just been lies backed by no evidence. And if I had one thing to say to them, I'd say do your research before you go out saying something that's not true, that could hurt someone. Just do your research. I mean, it's easy. All you have to do is just scroll like they do all day long and find the evidence that's right in front of their face. And I mean, it'll prove its own facts.
I could say I would want to add on to that, do the proper research. Sort through all the lies. I mean, and a lot of these stuff.
Well, we've done some research, and it seems that some of the evidence that we wish that we could rely on have been tampered with. The security camera, probably the phone, pictures that may have been photoshopped. Man, GPS features for Garmin. Yeah, I've had one of those in a car. I know on a boat is totally different, but pretty sure that it's a pretty cool feature to probably help you navigate out in the ocean, especially, to watch out for shallow parts and things like that can happen as you're trying to make your way out to the ocean. But yeah, that's kind of funny. We question the evidence. That's what we do.
Stuff like you can just tell straight off the bat it's lies. And for one, it's defaming us, and for two, it makes you look like a dummy. I mean, like, you're just saying stuff, just pulling it out of who knows where, and you just look like an idiot on your phone making this TikTok or whatever, like do your research, man. Like if you can't simply do that, don't get on your phone and start making a video.
It's just kind of concerned me with like how people have the time of day to just make up complete lies out of something that they have no evidence of and to post on social media to put other people down. It's insane to me, like how like just people push this and want to make this a story that it's absolutely not. I don't know what happened to Nolan. My friends don't know what happened to Nolan.
Okay, Warren. Well, if you don't know what happened to Nolan and your friends don't know what happened to Nolan, then someone should be held responsible because technically you guys didn't just leave him in a town at a bar in the middle of the street of nowhere with a cell phone where he could get in contact with a family, a friend, maybe use a Uber, get taxi. No, you didn't do that. You guys took him to an island. So for you guys to come back and say, we don't know what happened to Nolan, well, then technically somebody should be charged because whoever drives that boat is responsible for everyone on that boat. It's as simple as that. Those are the laws. I don't make them. They're just there. You guys got to pass and the test and get certified and everything.
But for people to come around and say, "Oh, this happened for a fact, and I know this, and there's no telling me otherwise," then that's just stupid. You have no, like, half these people that are saying all these crazy things on the internet, those lies have already been debunked. There's evidence supporting this is a lie. Like, why are you still saying this? These people just have no idea what they're talking about, and it's very clear because a lot of these people just speak without thinking and post stuff without thinking. But at the end of the day, it just looks really stupid on their page and whatever they're posting on. But it's just sad. Like, people really take the time out of their day to post a bunch of BS lies on a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds who have never that man more than pushed this narrative. And
A few things I need to add.
Oh, we don't care what you gotta say.
If you want-
You're full of shit. Is it me or this guy looks like an alcoholic pill fiend? To be honest, like when I seen him on Nancy Grace, it looked like he was high as hell, but not off weed. Well, who knows if he added that to the combination that he had, but it looked like he was on alcohol and pills. I don't know.
and
His eyes was crazy.
it may have felt good for them.
The in part, that's a part of the defamation, but is the racial component, because when someone goes out and says things without evidence, projecting that this was a racial encounter, defending their
Thing that we're never going to do is we're never going to speculate on ourselves. But
Well, first and foremost, let's go back to that. See, they're getting ahead of themselves. We're not speculating right now that this is a race thing. Yeah, I mean we are, but we're not saying that that's the motive because the motive comes after finding out who did it, why they did it. That's the why. Right now, what we're trying to find out is what happened to Nolan Wells. Because it seems to us that nobody has their story straight, that people are lying, and we want justice. After that, the person can come forward and let us know what exactly happened. What was the motive, if there was a motive behind it? And then we'll tell you. We'll go back to that. We'll tell you if it was racially motivated or not.
we can
But it could have been, for sure.
talk about what might motivate people. And I won't talk about any particular people because I am not inside their head right now. But I can tell you that racism for profit is a major factor here. And we don't, in the end, or anything young men, really, we have evidence.
Because I've seen knowledge.
Any attorneys.
Yeah, by the way, two witnesses is not evidence, and that's why I was telling you guys this is bad. This is really bad. The fact that these res- responsible teenagers or whatever 20-year-olds, you know, the fact that some of them are out there free because we don't really know what happened if he was jumped and more than five people are responsible. There's so much information from the moment that they went out to Horn Island that doesn't make sense all the way to the CETO call. Like from the CETO call forward, what they're telling us doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. None of it. So whether he was jumped, whether he was just strangled, choked, whatever happened, pushed off the boat while the boat was going at a very fast speed. There's so many things that could have happened. Okay, um, and the reality is something happened to him, and nobody's coming forward to tell the truth. More than 10 people know exactly what happened. That CETO call, if these guys are saying that the CETO call and that recording or picture that we have is exactly the same time or even close to being at the same time, that's the part where Wyatt is on the phone with CETO and they're saying Nolan, it's not a coincidence. It's a fact. The audio is the biggest piece of evidence. It's the biggest piece of evidence that they have for this case. And in reality, they should be locked up and the FBI should be investigating the motive while they're locked up to understand if this was a hate crime, etc. They can be doing time while the Federal Bureau of Investigation finds out or figures out what exactly happened here. After that, they can say, well, it was an accident, somebody confessed, or somebody did this, etc. So it's going to be ruled as a homicide, whatever. Um, so yeah, man, it's sad. It's sad.
You're gonna lose. You're gonna get a not.
There's been positive on
Who ha-
They're gonna pay people to lie. That's what they're gonna do. They're talking about they got two witnesses. They're gonna try to find 20, 30, as many witnesses as they can, and they're gonna pay people. They're gonna try to pay people to lie. I, I'm I'm not lying to you. That's what they're gonna try to do. And we already heard from Warren himself say that the Palm Beach had about four people, if that, right? The Triton had 8 to 9 people in the first interview. This is what he said. And he said Bart's boat had another like 14 to 15, right? So, it is what it is. Um, the information that they give, you know, should all of it should be used in court against them, everything. And that's one of the reasons that I don't like the fact that they haven't been arrested release, you know, on a bond or whatever, because right now they can say whatever they want. Right now they're walking free. Right now they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and it's just like it's an easier case for them. You understand? They're gonna try to make it as messy as possible, so that way the jury or the judge don't find enough evidence or whatever the case may be. If there's not enough evidence to pretty much charge somebody with murder, homicide, or something like that, um, they're gonna lie in court, man. They're gonna just like they're practicing right now. These interviews, they're practicing. That's what they're doing.
Has made a video on the positive side of things and showing the actual facts and debunking a lot of false information and given to the Gifts and Go. Yeah, that's another really big one. Thank you so much for that. Given to the Gifts and Go. That means a lot.
To all the people out there. I mean,
I'm not thinking. Fuck, lost what you guys.
And you know, we can't thank them enough. Like seriously, with
Ways. It's
Well, the most important thing is like evidence. We're going, folks.
agree, Tom. I know when people are.
So they were talking about the mother not giving up the phone and things like that, and actually the truth that came out, if I'm not mistaken, they mentioned this in the Nancy Grace show, is there wasn't much to see or grab from content from her show, to be honest, but she stated that the mom was cooperating the whole time, and that the mother, as at a certain point, if I'm not mistaken, did offer the phone, and they simply didn't take it at that time. But now they're gonna sit down with the FBI. They're gonna download, back up all the information. Yeah, I mean, back up the phone, plug it in, back up the phone, grab all the information that you can get out of it, and have the hackers or the FBI, whoever is good with that stuff, figure out what happened with that phone on July 4th, as much as they can, as much information as possible. You know, um, honestly, I don't understand why nobody's locked up. That's the part that I don't understand. To me, it doesn't make any sense. So, it's really like mind-boggling. Like, like why, at the very least, whoever took the boat, why they haven't been charged. I don't get that part. I really don't get that part. But yeah, man, I think eventually we need them to continue talking. I know people are saying different things, but I would like for them to go down simply for the fact that this should be a domino effect. This was not simple or done by themselves, like on some real shit. Like if you think about it, right? If you think about all the stops they made, anybody could have got off the boat drove down to their grandparents' house. They could have took down the entire, or the grandfather himself, or whoever. They could have took down the entire camera system, whatever the case may be, the entire network, whatever. And then at the very end, you finally take the boat to the house or to the dock, to the grandparents' house, huh? Why so many stops? There's a lot of questions to be asked. Why did we have that many stops? You know, and there's a lot of footage out there. Like there's a couple parts or a couple angles. One, I believe, obviously, is in the island where there's a fight, like a one-on-one, and somebody's like looking straight at the two people fighting. And I'm pretty sure today that hit a lot of people's algorithm. So you guys have probably seen that. Now there's another part that I feel like it wasn't in Horn Island. I feel like there's another video out there of people like arguing or pointing at each other. And to me, when I first saw that video, the original video, it didn't look like they were at Horn Island. To me, it looked like they were docked somewhere, like, you know. But I don't know, man. There's so many different things that could have been done. The body could have been switched to a different boat. If the body was stored inside the boat, you understand. These police guys were at the judge's house. I don't know if they be doing, their little ditty parties down there too, like their little freak offs and whatnot. But what is police doing at the judge's house? I don't know. That was kind of weird. I don't know what time that was, but there was because it's a recording, and during their conversation when they're talking about 10-4 and all this other, they're talking in code, and the guy says the judge's house. He tells the guy, stop what you're doing right now and head over to this, and head over to the other spot, which was, if I'm not mistaken, Wyatt's house, when Nolan's mom most likely decided to, after getting the phone, decided to go check for herself, and she wanted to maybe go look at that boat because maybe her son was calling her name. Like, you guys may not understand how spirits work, or how things are sometimes in this world, and how shit happens. But who knows what if his body was inside that boat? you know she wanted to find out. And what they ended up doing was they called the cops. The guys called the cops on her because they saw through Nolan's phone, like, the location, that they were headed that way, that they were going, or they were going to be there, whatnot. So, and I don't know how who uploaded that shit, or how the fuck we got that off, but that thing was clear. I forgot what YouTube channel and what TikTok. That's what I said, yo. Sign up to all of them. Anything that's not AI though. Anybody showing their face, talking about it, showing different clips, obviously of different things, but don't go with the AI channel, guys, because you don't know who that is. That could be a culture vulture. You know what I'm saying? Put it as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Um, we're all of you, not me. All of you are doing a great job pushing the algorithm. Everybody that's talking about it every day. Um, you guys are doing a great job, and I would like to see the domino effect. There's a lot of people involved in this. I swear, man. I feel like the more information that comes out, adults were involved, if like for sure, regardless like of how you look at it. The grandfather alone canceling the toe, like so. I would like to see a domino effect, and I would like to see more than just one, two, three people go down and do real time. I would really like to see that shit. This is something like shocking. Like, what the fuck is going on? It's crazy. And then that's another thing. It's like they're talking about, oh yeah, everybody's talking about this is a race thing. Yeah, well, Mississippi has a whole bunch of killing, and may they rest in peace. Obviously, a lot of people have just shown up dead, and then the cops are not even doing a thorough investigation. There is like it's just going nowhere. How does that even make sense? So obviously they don't know what that's like. They don't understand. Those are privileged kids. They have no idea. Or obviously, they ignorant brats. Man, and that's another thing, man. There's so many things that I question. That's why I question that, like right away. The body being found 2 days later. I was like, man, they probably took the body and they dumped it overnight. They went ahead on sunrise or whatever. Everything is all weird, like for sure, all weird. But yeah, man, we gotta take a look at that video and everything that Warren is saying. Because let me show you guys actually right now, real quick, right? Watching what is it? War 777 something like that. Watching the War 77, right? Shout out to him for sure. All right, so he's gonna show you a longer footage. Yes, y'all remember how I showed you the footage with Brandon Tatum, right? All right, I'm gonna show you guys the footage without his edit, without the edit from Brandon Tatum. Oh, real quick, watch this. Let me see. Where's the video? I wonder who took this picture. Oh wait, let me show you guys. Hold on. I wonder who took this picture and if that person was with them. Okay. You see what the Triton you see what the Triton looked like, right? Okay, so this is the Triton, right? And this is supposed to be Bart's boat, right? This is supposed to be Bart's boat. Okay.
point of view. But this gives you an idea, and this is
Alright, here we go. And then here's the video. Y'all ready for the video? I can show it to you even better. I'm gonna do that right now for you guys. I'm gonna take all of this out real quick. Hold on. I could just zoom in right here. Boom. In fact, I'm gonna mute myself, remove myself real quick. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna remove myself real quick, and I'm gonna show you guys the video. Okay, watch this.
now. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I think you guys get my point now. Nolan is still on the dock when the Triton leaves. Is the whole now we have
And yeah, shout out to watching the World 777. If you guys are interested in different kind of um, cases out there, he covers all kind of different cases, like the popular cases out there, the trending ones, and everything. So you can go ahead and check his channel out and subscribe to him. But let's go ahead and check what he's saying here.
you see Nolan is walking here. Okay, I have to go back. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I want you to pay attention. This is the actual dock. Okay. And you see the individuals here, they're getting on boats. And then you can see there's a boat under covering here. There's another boat on the other side. I want you guys to notate that. Pretty soon we're going to see the Triton, the boat right here. See, this is the Triton. You guys notice that?
All right, perfect.
Okay, Tracy, you see.
So as you guys can see, that is the Triton. Yes, justice for Nolan Wells, and that's why we're all here. Hopefully, um, because there's a lot of trolls, a lot of bots that I've seen on different channels. So hopefully, everybody that is here definitely wants justice for Nolan Wells. So this is the Triton, right? He explains this is the Triton. Look at the blue top. About 7 to 8 people. Now, this video that he's showing, make sure that you guys, check him out some other time in the future, tomorrow. He shows in this video how the motion features of the camera system and everything decides to like focus on what's moving out there. See how the camera captures the boat taking off? Watch this.
See that this is the Triton. Let me take this down. I want everybody to be able to grasp what I'm on these. You can see clearly, but it seems like an average. Okay. Now, I want you to notice the angle that this boat is leaving out. Do you guys see this? Everybody's with me here. The boat is backing up out of the frame. Okay. This is going to be very important. No one else has caught this. The boat is backing up. Now, listen, you see here in the corner? You notice the boat is backing up. Okay. I want you guys to catch this. Okay. I want you to catch this. You see it's backing up, and you can see the brown top here. Okay, you see the brown top. You see this boat backing up. Now watch the next frame, right there. You see that boat backing up. Put a one in the chat if you see the boat backing up. It's basically just switching cameras. Okay, I want you guys to catch this. It's very important that you catch it. You see right here. You see the boat. It's backing out. Okay, so we're gonna go to the previous frame. Okay, you see it's backing out.
As you see this, also like take a look at the boat itself and where the water is at and everything. But
Now you see it
the
goes out of the frame. Oh,
the important part here is that when that boat takes off, Nolan Wells is still on land. He's not on the Triton. But if we look at the notes, what does it say? It says, it's gonna zoom in on the side. I have this on a slide. I guess I should do it that way. My bad, guys. But he says that Nolan was on the Triton, but that's not what the video shows. So the more they talk, the more lies they give us to play with. And this is why there's no defamation. They can't sue you with all the information we have, with the audio that we have. There's no way that a defamation lawsuit can happen. Like you would be able to defend yourself in court, and on top of that, you would have them under oath. At that point, you would have them, you would try to get them under oath to say that they had nothing to do with Nolan Wells' death. Get it? And that's when things proceed.
I made a boo boo. Yeah, let's see here. All right, so it's backing out. You see here now it's in the corner. So put a one in the chat. Everybody's with me, right? Well, guess what? That's the Triton boat, guys, that Nolan rode to the island on, right? That's what everybody's saying. Well, how is this Nolan right here walking? Listen, Nolan is getting off another boat. Nolan is still on the dock when the Triton leaves. So what are we doing here? Everybody's giving us misinformation. Let me show you.
This is why people were saying, I don't know if you guys seen another content creator. Look at the time. Look at the time. Look at the time that it says Saturday 9:41. This is why content creators was covering the GPS not having maybe the correct time also and things like that.
Nolan is still on the island when the Triton leaves. Don't play games with me. Look at Nolan come walking along with the long sleeve shirt and his afro. We're going to call it an afro. There's Nolan right there. He didn't get on that boat. So somebody is not being truthful and honest when it comes to this case. Why do we say he's on the Triton if he's not on the Triton?
Yo, shout out to Watching the World 777. Go check him out, man. Definitely subscribe to the brother. He's from the East Coast. Go show him some love, man. He just pointed out some facts, some cold hard facts.
You can see the time up at the top, so don't play games. You can see the time stamp. Nolan is still on that dock. He did not go to Horn Island on the Triton, it appears. What are we doing? We got all the boats mixed up now. There's a narrative being laid out to hide something, perhaps. We don't know for sure. But there's Nolan right there. I'm going to let you watch Nolan walk on. The boat has already left the dock. I'm going to replay it for you. There's Nolan right there. You see him? And at the end of the day, we never got back his long sleeve shirt. What are we doing? Where's Nolan's long sleeve shirt that he had on that morning with those blue shorts? They found him Monday morning lying in the sand. He did not have that long sleeve shirt on. Where was his sunshades at? What are we doing? The fish didn't eat his shirt off. Okay, so I'm gonna replay this. I discovered this today, and I said, "Wait a minute, this don't seem right." And by the time I put all this together, I started to realize Nolan never got on the Triton. This whole case hinges on Nolan getting on the Triton. Now watch this. This is insane to me. Watch the Triton. This is the Triton backing up. Watch the next frame. You're gonna see it in the same frame that Nolan's gonna come through walking. What are we doing? Check it out. See the boat backing up here? You see it right here in the corner, right? Now watch Nolan. Nolan is right there as that boat is backing up. Here's Nolan right here. And watch him come walking around. Actually, I hit the wrong part. Sorry about that. Let me go back. Okay, so let me back up here. So here we have it right here. The boat is going to back up. You see it here in the corner. And here's Nolan over here in the same frame. Same exact frame. He's not on that boat. So it's more than likely he rode down with Warren and Bart and Jax. He rode down with them. So then we have to assume he rode back with them. Maybe. And if that's the case, on the police report, we don't have where Bart's boat went after we hear this whole audio deal. Now, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I think you guys get my point now. Nolan is still on the dock when the Triton leaves.
Which means that Warren lied from the gate, from the very first interview. Warren says this is his story in key points. My buddies and I planned this weeks ahead. Stayed with Nolan's at Buddy's house. Warren also said that him and his buddy go to McDonald's without Nolan. Okay, gets in contact with his friends over the phone, etc. Wyatt puts the smaller boat in water, the Palm Beach. Warren says they have about 20 to 30 friends on this trip. Warren says Nolan was on the Triton, Wyatt's boat. That's a lie. You guys want me to replay it one more time? Let's go ahead and replay one more time for the people that just got here. Let's take a look at this boat, the Triton.
See, pretty much it has about 7 people on it. You can see that, right? You can't see clearly, but it seems like an average, okay? Now, I want you to notice the angle that this boat is leaving out. Do you guys see this? Everybody's with me here. The boat is backing up out of the frame, okay? This is going to be very important. No one else has caught this. The boat is backing up. Now, listen, you see here in the corner? You notice the boat is backing up, okay? I want you guys to catch this. Okay, I want you to catch this. You see it's backing up and you can see the brown top here, okay? You see the brown top, you see this boat backing up. Now watch the next frame. Right there, you see that boat backing up? Put a 1 in the chat if you see the boat backing up. It's basically just switching cameras. Okay, I want you guys to catch this. It's very important that you catch it. You see right here, you see the boat? It's backing out. Okay, so we're gonna go to the previous frame. Okay, you see it's backing out. Now you see it goes out of the frame. Oh, I made a boo-boo here. Let's see here. All right, so it's backing out. You see here, now it's in the corner. So put a 1 in the chat. Everybody's with me, right? Well, guess what? That's the Triton boat, guys, that Nolan rode to the island on, right? That's what everybody's saying. Well, how is this Nolan right here walking? Listen, Nolan is getting off another boat. Nolan is still on the dock when the Triton leaves. So what are we doing here? Everybody's giving us misinformation. Let me show you Nolan is still on the island when the Triton leaves. Don't play games with me. Look at Nolan come walking along with the long sleeve shirt and his afro. We're going to call it an afro. There's Nolan right there. He didn't get on that boat. So somebody is not being truthful and honest when it comes to this case. Why do we say he's on the Triton if he's not on the Triton? You can see the time up at the top, so don't play games. You can see the time stamp. Nolan is still on that dock. He did not go to Horn Island on the Triton, it appears. What
Yeah, shout out to Watching the World 777. Warren, Warren also stated that he left with Bart, by the way, in that interview, the first interview.
are we doing? We got all the boats mixed up now. There's a narrative being laid out to hide something, perhaps. We don't know for sure. But there's Nolan right there. I'm going to let you watch Nolan walk on. The boat has already left the dock. I'm going to replay it for you. There's Nolan right there. You see him? And at the end of the day, we never got back his long sleeve shirt. What are we doing? Where's Nolan's long sleeve shirt?
If you're running your
Yeah, guys. Yeah, y'all already know. Listen, while that goes on, let me show you guys real quick. From that interview, take those key points. Exactly what Warren said. Him and his buddies planned weeks ahead, stayed with Nolan at Buddy's house. Warren and his buddy go to McDonald's without Nolan, gets in contact with his other friend over the phone, etc. Wyatt puts a smaller boat, the Palm Beach, in water. Just ignore the bullshit and just write down the facts, the important things, and the evidence. The objects used that day and who used them. Warren says they had about 20 to 30 friends on this trip. Warren also says that Nolan went on the Triton, and that's a lie. That is a lie.
Together, I started to realize Nolan never got on the Triton. This whole case hinges on Nolan getting on the Triton. Now watch this. This is insane to me. Watch the Triton. This is the Triton backing up. Watch the next frame. You're gonna see it in the same frame that Nolan's gonna come through walking. What are we doing? Check it out. See the boat backing up here? You see it right here in the corner, right? Now watch Nolan. Nolan is right there as that boat is backing out. Here's Nolan right here. And watch him come walking around. Actually, I hit the wrong part. Sorry about that. Let me go back.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so let me back up here. So
yeah,
here we have it right here. The boat is going to back up.
Mhm.
You see it here in the corner. And here's Nolan over here in the same frame. Same exact frame. He's not on that boat. So it's more than likely he rode down with Warren and Bart and Jax. He rode down with them. So then we have to assume he rode back with them. Maybe. And if that's the case, on the police report, we don't have where Bart's boat went after we hear this whole audio deal. Now, I'm not accusing anybody.
And that's why I say the more information that we get, like me, I do this like an equation with like variables, right? Math. Okay. Well, Bart Bart GPS. Okay, that's one, right? On the audio, you can hear somebody say, "Damn it, Bart." Okay, it's two. Um, which I have my theory on that, but I don't want to say it. Something nasty. Okay, I don't want to go there right now. Um, the other part was this one, and there's another one that points his direction. Oh, I believe it's the interviews. as far as him coming forward, speaking up, saying anything. Um, I don't know, like a lot of stuff just points that way for me. If I were to like guess, I would guess Bart.
Of anything, but I think you guys get my point now. Nolan is still on the dock when the Triton leaves. Look at Nolan, guys. Probably his last walk on the dock here. This is Nolan right here, long sleeve shirt. Look at him, living his best life. Okay? And I don't know why this is acting up, but anyway, I'm going to try to get it to work again. So there he goes. There's Nolan right there. That's the actual end of the video, by the way. So, all right.
That's some good piece of evidence, though. That's some good piece of evidence right there. Yeah, well, we need we need everybody to just continue pushing content. Shout out to all the content creators. If you guys see anybody out there making content on it, um, subscribe. Show them love because we need to figure out what happened. I want to see a whole bunch of names, you know, go down like conspiracy of a murder, tampering with evidence. Just come on, man. What we doing out here? Like for real. Yeah, that's a good piece of information right there. I think that what he's saying makes a lot of sense. I honestly do. We'll see what happens. Well, I want to thank you guys for stopping by and everything, and I want to thank everybody who in the past has subscribed. So appreciate you guys so much. But again, this is not for me. I could, it's not about my channel or nothing like that. This is about a person who deserves justice, who had everything ahead of him. We didn't know what sport he was probably gonna go professional if he was gonna decide to take that route. It looked like he could go either or if he wanted to maybe try out and do, basketball more than football, or if he was gonna be a wide receiver, a defensive end, I mean, a defensive back, playing cornerback, and you don't know what kind of athlete he could have been. So it's a shame that we don't know what's the motive, what happened, who did it, you know, nothing. It's like if it was an incident or accident, you know, different emotions would have been involved, a different outcome, the news would have been different, everything. But yeah, that's my time, y'all. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Peace.